What is going on, my fellow wrestling fans? This is your fellow wrestling fan or fanatic, Hollywood Steve, here with you for the review of Friday Night Smackdown from last Friday. So, let's jump right into things. But before we do, make sure you guys hit that like button. Make sure you guys hit that subscribe button. Make sure you guys comment, make sure you guys share, all that good stuff, guys. It really helps out the YouTube algorithm, so make sure you guys are doing that. Tell your friends, tell everybody about this podcast, about the Hollywood Steve Wrestling Podcast, and your boy Hollywood Steve. Alright, let's get into things. Let's jump right into it here. Smackdown opened with a preview of the men's and women's Night of Champions, the King and Queen of the Ring tournament matches. So for the men's King of the Ring tournament qualifier, we had a fatal four-way between Randy Orton, Carmelo Hayes, Aleister Black, and LA Knight. And also Damian Priest, Cody Rhodes, Andrade, and Shinsuke Nakamura. And on the women's side, we had Piper Niven, Jade Cargill, Nia Jax, Mia Chin, and Chelsea Green, Charlotte Flair, Alexa Bliss, and Candice LeRae going against each other. Then we had Jacob Fatu walking into the arena. As they always show everybody walking in. Then we got the women's Money in the Bank winner Naomi walking in. Then we got a recap of Worlds Collide and Money in the Bank, of course. And that was followed by John Cena, the WWE Undisputed Champion, opening the show, of course. Okay, now this John Cena run. I want to know your guys' thoughts on this. I want to know what you guys think of this John Cena run. Okay? I personally I like this heel John Cena. Okay? I like the heel John Cena here. Okay, I like this heel run by John Cena. It's already getting tired. Okay, it's already becoming a tired act. At least for me. I don't know how you guys feel about it, but let me know. But for me, it's becoming tired already. So then we get a picture. We get the graphic of the match at Night of Champions between John Cena and CM Punk for the Undisputed WWE Championship. And Cena says, Cena says, that no one was comparable to him. Cena touted that everything he did was to use everyone, and how he's the greatest champion of all time. And Cena also said that he was the key to the mathematical equation that there would be no one worthy to hold the undisputed title again. But then he's interrupted by Cody Rhodes. Cody said that at first John Cena was right about everything. But he did not account for one thing, that at Money in the Bank, he was on his back looking up at the lights as Cody pinned him. And that's right, and Cena conveniently forgot about that Cody did pin him. And Cena didn't, and also Cody said that Cena did not account for his master plan. And he said, so Mr. Mount Rushmore, so this is after Cena put himself, Cena on the Mount Rushmore of champions. And Cody looks at John Cena and goes, "So, Mr. Mount Rushmore, where does that leave you and me?" So we are definitely going to run it back. I'm certain of that. We are definitely going to run it back. I don't know if we're going to run it back at SummerSlam, if we're going to run it back at Survivor Series. I would love that because Survivor Series this year, guys, for the first time, is in my hometown of San Diego, California, at Petco Park. Yes. Survivor Series is going to be at Petco Park this year, guys. I am going to do everything that I can to go. I cannot wait. I'm going to do everything that I possibly can to attend to attend Survivor Series, because I've never been to a Survivor Series, for one. In all the years that I've watched WWE, I've never been to a Survivor Series. And I have the opportunity to do, if I have the opportunity, I'm going to make sure that I'm going to go. And yeah, it's going to be awesome if I get to go. Oh my gosh, it's going to be so cool. Okay, so back to our review here. Then we get Randy Orton coming out and interrupts both Cody and Cena. And Orton said that he had Cena beat at Backlash, and that he would do whatever it takes to get number 15, because Randy is 3 away from tying John Cena. 3 away. That is so crazy to me. That is so insane that Randy Orton has got 15 WWE titles. Wow. Has held the title 15 times. Wow. And he said, even if that means taking down his best friend, who he loves like a brother, in Cody Rhodes. Then LA Knight came down and interrupted everyone, and LA Knight said that if he had to drop a Viper, and he looked at Randy and said, if he had to drop a Viper and a Nightmare and a balding champion on their heads to be champion, he would do so. And of course, what does Cena do? Cena walks off, leaving all three of the men in the ring, leaving Orton, Cody, and LA Knight in the ring. And as Cena walks back up the ramp, who should appear again? None other than R-Truth. Or should I say, Ron Killings. As I hope and I pray that he is going to be going by Ron Killings, because I would love a Ron Killings run in WWE. I would love it. So as Cena's walking back up the ramp, R-Truth or Ron Killings attacks him again and has to be held back by WWE officials. And then after the break, we see John Cena's in the back, and he is irate, yelling at Nick Aldis about what happened. And then we get the first, and then after that altercation, after that commotion and chaos, we get the first of our 2 fatal 4-way matches for the men's King of the Ring tournament, which was, like I said, which we had Randy Orton, Carmelo Hayes, Aleister Black, and LA Knight. And Melo goes right after Aleister Black, and both battle outside the ring. While Orton and Knight battled in the ring, Melo gets back up and attempts a roll-up on Orton for a 2. Orton and LA Knight both went for Orton and LA Knight. LA Knight goes for the BFT. Both LA Knight and Randy Orton, I should say, go for their finisher, the BFT and the RKO, respectively. And Aleister Black comes back in and went for a Black Mass on Knight. Then Black hits a moonsault on Carmelo Hayes to the outside of the ring. which takes us to an ad break. And after the ad break, Hayes was in control, but only for a few short minutes. Knight takes control. Mello gained control until LA Knight again gained control again. Orton goes for his patented slam on the announcer's table on Knight, but Knight escapes, and Orton hits it on Aleister Black. LA Knight has control of Carmelo Hayes until Black hit a step-up kick to Hayes, but Hayes hits a frog splash on Knight for a 2 count. And then another ad break, and coming out of the ad break, all 4 men hit a ton of moves. I mean, a ton of high-powered impact moves. Then Randy hit Aleister Black and LA Knight and Hayes with power slams. And as Orton was going for a draping DDT on Hayes, Black tried to intercept, but he got caught. And as Orton was about to deliver a draping DDT on Carmelo Hayes and Aleister Black, or dual draping DDTs on Knight, or on Hayes and Black, LA Knight delivers a neckbreaker for a 2 count. Knight hits a BFT, and Mello comes in and saves the match for only a 2. Knight goes for his patented elbow, and who should show up? None other than Bronson Reed and Braun Breaker, who hits a spear on LA Knight, and Hayes goes for his finisher. But Orton, as Hayes is going for his finisher, as Hayes is going for nothing but net, Orton hits an RKO out of nowhere on Hayes, and then Randy Orton picks up the scraps. He pins LA Knight for the win. And then we get another ad break. And then after coming out of that ad break, again, as you guys can see, multiple ad breaks on. Timing. This is why in the States, I wish that Smackdown was on Netflix as well as just like Monday Night Raws. I wish that I had Smackdown on Netflix as well. We would not in the States, we would not get so many ad breaks as we have, because those of you guys that are in the States watch it, you guys know that we have SmackDown on the USA Network, and we get so many ad breaks. It just gets, it gets ridiculous at times. But coming out of the next ad break, we had Jacob Fatu, and as Fatu, he's in the ring, cuts a promo on Solo, and Solo interrupts him. He comes up on the screen, says he could forgive. Says Solo said that he would, said that he could forgive, and that next week Solo's going to be on SmackDown, and he's going to be in the middle of the ring to take Jacob Fatu back. But the caveat being, Fatu has to say those 4 words that he used to say, that that he would always tell Solo. He would always, as we know, he would always say, "I love you, Solo." So this is what Solo says to Fatu. And Solo tells Fatu, he says, "I brought you into this world, and I will take you out." Because he's talking about how he brought him into the WWE, and how he saved him from what he was doing outside of the ring, and it was good. It was really good. This Bloodline storyline just continues to just carry on and on and on. And then we got Jade Cargill in her fatal 4-way, which we had between Piper Niven, Jade Cargill, Nia Jax. Yeah, we had Jade Cargill Nia Jax, Michin, and Chelsea Green. And Jade picks up the win here, hitting for the Jade picks up the win here pretty much. And then, of course, we get Miss Money in the Bank, Naomi. You know, Naomi's talking about her win, you know, and how nobody is safe. You know, everybody in the women's division needs to proceed with caution because nobody's safe. And Tiffany Stratton comes out and she tells Naomi that she is still the same old Naomi. You know, the same old Naomi who talks and can't back it up. And then Tiffany's jumped by Nia Jax. And Tiffany gets hit with an Annihilator. And Naomi looks like for a second that she's going to cash in. But Nia holds Naomi off. Okay, interesting. And then we get a video. We saw a video from earlier in the day with Fraxium, DIY, and the Motor City Machine Guns, and the tag team champions, the Street Profits, all in the office of the SmackDown general manager Nick Aldis. You know, about who'd be facing the Wyatts, as the Wyatts have been inserting themselves into the tag division. More specifically, it has been Joe Gacy and Dexter Lumis. So, and so they were all in Nick Aldis' office talking about, you know, arguing about who's gonna face the Wyatts, and because they couldn't decide, Aldis makes the executive decision and says the Motor City Machine Guns are going to face the Wyatts tonight. And that was actually the next match that we actually got. So we got Dexter Lumis and Joe Gacy of the Wyatt 6 taking on the Motor City Machine Guns. And the Wyatts came out on fire. Chris Sabin, he gets sent over the top rope by Chris Sabin was sent over the top rope by I believe it was Gacy. I believe it was Joe Gacy or Dexter Lumis. I can't remember who lowered the top, or no, I'm sorry, Chris Sabin lowers the top rope, and he throws Lumis over the top. And then MCMG, or the Motor City Machine Guns, hit a double baseball slide and a double crossbody. These guys are so good. I love the Motor City Machine Guns in the WWE. I love it. I love seeing these guys on a weekly basis. I love seeing them on television. They are so good. And then coming back from another ad break, Motor City Machine Guns are in control. The Motor City Machine Guns go for their finisher, Skull and Bones, after delivering double super kicks to Dexter Lumis on the ring apron. Chris Sabin gets the hot tag to Alex Shelley, and of course then they go for Skull and Bones. But Lumis draped Shelley on the top ropes and got the tag to Gacy, and they hit an assisted powerbomb for a 2 count. The Wyatts are in control until Sabin hits a baseball slide to Gacy. The Wyatts regained control, and Gacy took out Shelley on the outside of the ring, and Lumis hit a leg drop Lumis hits a leg drop off the top rope for the win. Hits the leg drop on Chris Sabin to pick up the win for the Wyatt 6. And then we get Cena backstage. He's looking for R-Truth or Ron Killings, and he runs in, and then he runs into Jimmy Uso, and he's like, "Have you seen R-Truth?" And Jimmy's like, "I haven't seen him. I don't know where he is." And so Cena tells him to tell Ron Killings to meet him in the ring. And so after the ad break, John Cena makes his way to the ring for a second time. Second time on SmackDown. Cena said that there was a level of disrespect you don't cross. And Truth crossed it. There were levels of disrespect that you don't cross, and Truth crossed both of them. Truth crossed both levels of disrespect. And he said, there is a time to talk and a time to fight, and Cena was not in the mood to talk. He wanted to fight. And he wanted to fight Truth right then and there. But Cena was, talking. He interrupts CM Punk. He's interrupted by CM Punk. And he started saying, he starts by saying that, they had yet to reach the levels of disrespect. That hadn't even started yet. He said for Cena to give them a happy ending. And then he does a little wink to the camera. And then he goes on to say that Cena could not beat him at his best. Punk says he saw right through him. He says that they're both goats. But he was going to spitfire and roast Cena. And on top of that, he was going to beat him. And he said, I'm going to take, basically he said, you saying that you're going to take the title and leave the WWE, he goes, you sound a lot like CM Punk, because that's exactly what Punk did in 2014. If you guys remember, CM Punk said that he was going to take the title and he was going to leave the WWE with the title, and that's exactly what he did. He left with the title. And then Raw Truth, or R Killings, whatever we're calling him, he attacks Cena for the second time. And he puts him in a STF. And then Punk throws, I can't remember what Punk said, but he throws one more jab at Cena and walks off as WWE officials had to pull Truth off of Cena. And then we get Byron Saxton backstage talking to Alexa Bliss until she was interrupted by Charlotte Flair. And Flair says that there's only one queen in the WWE, and that was her. And then we got the Queen of the Ring fatal four-way between Alexa Bliss, Charlotte Flair, Candice LeRae, and it was Alba Fire, not Piper Niven. So that was my mistake, guys, earlier on. It was actually Alba Fire and not Piper Niven. Charlotte dominates for most of the match, until, of course, because it's Charlotte Flair, she's going to dominate for a very good portion of this match, right? Until Bliss hits his sister Abigail, or attempts to hit his sister Abigail, but it was thwarted by Charlotte, and Alba Fire and Candice LeRae took control of Charlotte Flair. And this match, I'll say this match is pretty awesome. With Charlotte Flair and Alba Fire, go back and forth. Alba Fire got put in the figure 8. Bliss hit Sister Ab. Now this was a great finish, as Charlotte Flair has Alba Fire in the figure 8. Alexa Bliss comes out of nowhere, hits Sister Abigail, on Candice LeRae, and picks up, and the referee gets the 3 count in just before mere seconds before Alba Fire taps out. And Alexa Bliss is moving on to the next round in the Queen of the Ring tournament. And then we got the King of the Ring, the second of our two Fatal 4-Way matches on the men's side of Cody Rhodes, Damian Priest, Andrade, and Shinsuke Nakamura. And then after another ad break, we got the result pictures. We got the results graphic for the current standings for the semifinals of the King of the Ring, and that being those competitors being Randy Orton going up against Sami Zayn, and Alexa Bliss taking on whoever the winner of the 4-way on Monday Night Raw is. So right from Jump Street, Cody hits a suicide dive on Nakamura, and as he rolls to the outside of the ring, Rhodes and Priest fight on the outside. Nakamura hits a double fist to Priest on the apron. Then Andrade hits a moonsault from the top rope to the outside, taking out the other of the three competitors. Andrade rolls Nakamura back in the ring for a 2 count and attempts the double knees, but Nakamura moves out of the way and drapes Andrade over the apron. Cody and Priest fought back inside the ring. Then the action spilled outside. Priest was in control at this point. And then after this ad break, we come back and Nakamura's in control. And he hits the sliding German suplex. Nakamura misses a knee to Cody. Cody puts him in the figure 4. Andrade comes off the top rope, but Damian Priest takes control. Priest went for an old school. Cody counters. Andrade capitalized. Shinsuke got Andrade in an armbar. Cody broke it up. Cody covers Andrade for a 2. Cody pulled out the Slim Jim table and was going to put Andrade through the table, but Priest stopped that from happening. And both Cody and Damian Priest were going to put Andrade through the table until Nakamura made the save and suplexed Andrade back in the ring and sidekicks Cody right through the table. Cody comes back. After Cody recovers, Cody comes back in and hits the crossroads on Nakamura for the win. And so that was SmackDown, guys. And overall, SmackDown was pretty good. I will say SmackDown overall was decent. Was decent. Again, a lot of action, a lot of ad breaks. A lot of ad breaks. I think that's the one. Well, no, actually, yes, on SmackDown, that is the one thing that they have to clean up. I would say they have to clean up the ad breaks. And that is why I say SmackDown needs to be, I wish in the States, I wish it was on Netflix, but I digress. Overall, it was a great episode of SmackDown. This is your boy Hollywood Steve signing off, saying when you're Hollywood Steve, it's for life.